Oh, you push a button?
I did push the button.
Okay.
I think so. You know what? It's a new slate. It's a new day. It's a new week. And thank y'all for tuning in on this week's Heavens Demons podcast. Yes. We said that right. Heavens Demons
The
pod.
Heavens Demons podcast.
Do we want to go into kind of our little rebrand that we're kind of going to do?
I think we owe it to them.
I think it's only fair. If not, it'd be mighty confusing just to
It'd be really
Hey, you know what?
confusing.
You're right. That you've said that in the past. Why I say certain things and I don't elaborate. You're all, bro. That doesn't make sense. You're not gonna.
No
divulge.
backstory?
Yeah, I'm on now.
Not at all. You don't need to know. Well, kind of do.
Hey, bro. Now it makes sense. It dawned on me.
Just now? All right, we're already making growth.
Oh, dude, this is gonna be a good podcast.
This is going to be a great episode.
Great episode. But yeah, if you want to go into it, if you want to.
Let me hydrate a little bit. Well, if you've made it this far, you kind of realize that there's not a person sitting here for about a few months.
We still miss you.
Still miss you.
So it's getting real low, big guy.
And for us, kind of going through this podcast for the past few months, kind of on our own, and what we want to do, what we want to do moving forward, how we've been maneuvering with, our own business and stuff like that.
I think in just life, period.
Just
I
life.
think I could say that. To be honest.
Yeah. I mean, we started this podcast 2 years ago. Going to be 2 years in June. We almost made it to 2 years, bro. It happens every time.
Hey, bro. hey, 2 years.
Every
Oh,
time.
God.
It's always the cutoff. Is that a toxic trait? Hey, bro. In another year and a half, we'll rebrand again.
I might not be here in 2 years, guys.
But
oh man,
basically, I'll speak for myself. Arturo can agree with me if he wants to.
I probably won't.
If not, just stay there. Look pretty. I got tired of being asked where the third member is and kind of just being obvious that we're going in two different directions. And it's almost like it's not fair to us and it's not fair to Darren.
Yeah.
If being asked all the time and having to answer like,
because you probably heard it too.
Yeah, I'm sure he has, and it's not fair. What's going on, and that's still my brother. That's still my best friend, and there's certain stuff that we're just not going to talk about on the podcast because that's us. That's our friendship triangle that stays between us three. But as far as this podcast moving forward, this is a podcast. This is something that we want to do. And the DNA podcast was great. But there's no way I could say this without it sounding weird, but it's not the DNA podcast if the D isn't there. It's just, there's no...
If the D's not in the middle, it does not make sense.
It just doesn't make sense. And it
is mighty confusing too, for a lot of people.
It's confusing because it's like, why is it called the DNA podcast? Like, oh, it's because it's Darren and Adam and Arturo, and it's like, oh, who's Darren? If it's a new listener or people asking, it's just awkward.
And that's what I came across a few times. It's like, oh, somebody that was new that started listening maybe like a year in. It's like, or no, like not even a year in, like 3-4 months back, and trying to explain like the name. It's like, I mean, yes, but also this. It's just like it. I was like, you know what? For our viewers' sakes and for everybody's sake, let's just rename it, and that's fine. You know what? Is Darren gonna be back? Probably eventually.
Probably.
Yeah.
I mean,
and that's cool, and that's fine.
And his seat's always here whenever he wants to come back. We communicate here and there. I'm not gonna lie and say that we've spoke about the podcast about like if he's coming back, but that's totally up to him. That stays between us. And if he comes back, he comes back. It's always gonna be available. Seat's always open. And always. And as far as moving forward, it's like we're doing stuff with our clothing line. We have our own businesses and stuff like that. And kind of where I want to take the podcast of when we started this podcast 2 years ago, it was literally just three of us fucking around.
It was us shooting the shit in a garage.
Yeah.
And I could very well say that there's been a lot of growth in that time for everybody involved. We've obviously done different things in new spaces. We've met a lot of new people. And just as you get older, things change. You want to go in certain directions. You want to develop certain things. You want to emphasize on different things. Do we still love shooting the shit and talking the way we do? Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Can we do with a little bit more structure and maybe a little bit more cohesiveness? Yeah.
And that's what we're trying to do.
And that's what we're trying to hear. That's what we're here to do, folks.
That's what we're here to do. It's like, you can only go so far without a plan. You can only go so far without structure. You can only go so far with just
Don't tell Columbus that.
Huh?
Huh?
He went really far. All right, if we would not be here. We're not going to talk about colonization.
No, not on the Heavens Demons podcast. We left that in the DNA podcast.
Left that in the DNA podcast.
At least for now.
Exactly.
It'll come up eventually.
It's gonna come up.
It's gonna come back. Just like that tricky X. Go on.
But what was I even saying? Look, you can only go so far without a plan, without any direction. We started the podcast not even knowing how to do a podcast. We were just listening to podcasts here and there. We just knew that we wanted to. You were three best friends that wanted to talk about anything. Literally anything and everything. And through that, you kind of find your path. It reminds me of Yes Man. You have to say yes to a lot of things to know what to say no to. So like when we talk about what we talk about, it's kind of like you're finding your way of like what sticks, what doesn't, what you really want to talk about, what you don't want to talk about.
Exactly. That's what I was going to emphasize on, like what you're passionate about and what you don't want to talk about.
Yeah.
Are we still going to talk about like relationships and funny things and things like that?
Absolutely.
Bro, that's us to a core. Yeah. And I think that's a lot of people to their core, and that's how we relate. Now, do we want to speak? Do we want to like give people game and help people out and do all these other things? Yeah, that's also something we're pretty passionate about too. This isn't going to be an inspirational speech, guys. That's not what we're doing here. But we're just going to talk about, I guess, kind of more. How would you put it? If you were to rebrand the Heavens Demons podcast on what, like, not the pillars are,
just the bullet points,
but bullet points.
I would like to speak about business. I would like to speak about culture. I want to create a platform for all my friends that I've literally made in the past year that are also creatives, that also have their own businesses, that give them a platform to speak about their business, not just like a typical, radio interview style. I want everybody to have a chance for the audience to get to know them as a person, because I feel once you know someone as a person, you support them with everything they do. You want to know that person's a good person. Now, that's also
without coming off as corny either, because that's the one thing I've always gravitated towards certain I guess radio hosts, because they were genuine. Like you could tell when somebody's like authentic. Yeah. And I appreciate them. And sometimes that's for the worse, sometimes it's for the better, but that's them. And at the end of the day, I feel like that's what we want to do, is do that. While, you know what, guys, when people come on and when we're going to have these discussions, we're still going to talk about other things. We're still going to talk about relationship dynamics in a mature taste while still fucking around. Yeah. But what we're trying to get to. We don't want it to be all chaotic and, I guess, moronic at times, because we've been jackasses. I think we can admit that.
And it gets old. And I'm not going to act like I'm not going to delete any of the episodes. They're all on a playlist. The DNA days are there. If you want to go back,
might get us canceled one day.
It might catch up to us, and which then I will delete. But
bro, if somebody tries to go back and cancel us, at least I know we kind of made it.
Yeah. Hey, we're cancelable. Okay. If you'd have to care about somebody to want to cancel them.
That is true.
So honestly, just like if we get our first cease and desist letter, I'm framing it. I'm going, because that means I was on your radar.
Guess what? I'm going to the desert, son.
Exactly.
Hey, I'm gonna be like, hey, y'all gotta talk about this.
You gotta talk about this. This is bad publicity. No such thing.
No such thing.
No such thing. But it's like I could speak for myself, and like I said, they agree, disagree. I just kind of felt repetitive of talking about relationships being messy, and I want to clean it up as much as we can. Like we can only take things so serious that even with the business that we do, if you were to hang out with us or when we're handling and talking about business, you would be confused and shocked as to how we're able to do what we do. But and that's what we want to talk about. We want to talk about, like, there's no fucking poster of this is exactly how it needs to be done in no other way. There's so many different paths you can take, but there's always going to be one constant thing that needs to be had in all these paths, which we're going to talk about later in the podcast. And it just I'm looking forward to what the rebrand is,
and what comes with it.
Yeah, what comes with it? Who we have on. I feel like we've been super selective, which we're still going to be selective of who comes on the podcast, but I want to open the doors even more. Yeah. Everything that we stand for, that we've evolved into now it's like we always complain about, nobody giving game and nobody doing this, that, and the third. And it's like, well, why don't you just do it?
Yeah.
And if I can share and impart any knowledge, I want to do that. And I feel like I need to create a proper platform for that knowledge to be taken somewhat serious.
And to be honest, it feels a little hypocritical when we say those types of things. And it's like, but what are you doing to combat that?
Yeah.
And it's like, well, I mean, we do that individually amongst our group and our own friends. But also, how is that fair to anybody else? It's like, how is anybody else supposed to advance and get further if they don't know those things?
Yeah.
It's like, just because you don't ask doesn't mean, are you not allowed to know? It's like, nah, some things you should kind of just know, or some things like, it kind of reminds, not like TikTok, because I never want to be compared to TikTok, but you know how TikTok is free game without you even asking it? Kind of like that.
Yeah.
Even if it doesn't matter if it's business, relationships, regardless of what it is, it's like sometimes information like that can go a long way.
Yeah, because we've, on our path of starting our own business, I mean, Arturo runs his own business. Our families have our own business, but also with the clothing line, we have to learn. Some people have given us game, other people not so much, and we kind of have to figure this stuff on our own. And we always tell each other, like, we want to be able to just, if anybody asks us a question, just say it. There's no reason to, like, tell somebody they got to make 3 lefts, turn right at the OXXO, and you might get there, you might not, but hey, who fucking knows?
Also, there's also 17 OXXOs in a 3 mile radius, so figure it out,
so
right?
So figure it out. It's like, no, like, let me just tell you, and now it's on you to do it. Like, I've gotten DMs from people looking to start their own business or their own podcast, and they want information, and I'm an open book. Like, if I know something, I'm gonna tell you, and if I don't know something, I'm gonna tell you as much as I know, and be like, you know what, maybe we could learn together. And if you figure it out, hopefully you tell me.
And honestly, I don't know if you've come across this before, but I've come across this where I'll like divulge and get into like some of the game and kind of some of the intricacies of things, and then they hear it and they're all, oh, you know what, maybe I don't want to do this. It's like and that also helps you too, because you don't have to go through all these trials and errors and figure out, fuck, I don't like this. It's like if you had to go to law school and you're in there after a year and a half, you're all, fuck, I hate this. It's like, get out of it before you're too.
Yeah, because then at that moment you realize you really didn't want to do it.
Exactly.
Like, when I saw A Few Good Men, I thought I could be a lawyer. I can argue, but then I realized what it takes for you to get that little piece of paper that says you know how to argue. It's like, oh, well, fuck this.
You're all, but let me make an argument why you don't need that piece of paper.
Yeah, it's like, well, no, I don't want it that bad.
Yeah, no.
And
that's okay too. That's fine.
It's perfectly fine. Not everybody's meant to do everything. You're gonna find your path, but also it's about taking those risks. And if we could give you any knowledge as far as, how to file an LLC, how to fucking finesse your way to get an Adobe Illustrator account, or how to do these things, I'm gonna tell you. And hopefully you guys take the information that we do give and apply it to yourself. And if it works for you or if it doesn't work for you, it might not even, and also it might not even apply to them, but you know what? It could apply to their homie, or it could apply to their cousin, or it could apply to their sister or their brother. Yeah. It's like, there's a lot of things I hear that aren't, like, I hear certain things about like certain topics that relate nothing to me, but I tell it to some family members, or I tell it to some friends, because I'm like, well, this won't help me, but it might help you. Might help you. Yeah. And that's what you're supposed to do. It's like, you're supposed to impart, if you have wisdom and knowledge, you're supposed to impart that with anybody that asks you to. You spread, like, that's how you bring everybody up. Like, and amongst our friend group, I share information. We all share information because we all want to see each other succeed. Because if one person succeeds and you're the only one succeeding, you kind of look like a failure. Yeah. Because maybe you're just fucking lucky, or you just hoarded knowledge and you didn't want anybody else to win. And nobody, I think that's a very bad way to do it. So, in short, to make a long story a lot less long,
in summation,
that's what this podcast is we want to impart knowledge. We want to do it in a fun way, in a jackass way that we always, that's just how we are. Yeah. We want to give a platform of people that have knowledge in different areas to share. Yeah. And also be jackasses with them, because who wants to have a bad time with doing anything? So that's the Heavens Demons podcast.
And to kind of to go off that, can I share a fucking a little clip that we recorded earlier?
We recorded a clip?
Well, the voice memo, just to talk.
Oh, look, go for it.
Just in summation of how we do business amongst Heaven's Demons.
This is a professional.
I'm trying to figure out which one doesn't have any valuable information we can't give out.
The one you sent me had the valuable information, so the one I sent you doesn't.
The one you sent me, got it. Because I sent something to Adam in this type of fashion.
Information I needed to
change platforms with the stream service. Doesn't matter. The point is this is how we do things.
10 breaker 19, 10 breaker 19. This is Charlie Horse over. Got it down. Doing business with clothing company. 44515 C Asia Drive. Business website. And next, if there's any more information, I'll go ahead and text you. Over and out.
And that's how we do business. Because
mind you, the information he sent me is very serious.
It's very serious, by the way, but I still did it in a way where it's like, hey man, I constantly have to be in business. I'm constantly doing these things. And I can't really always do that with like on my family, with like our family business. I'm sure you can't do it with your family business. It's like,
no.
If I always tell myself, if I have the chance to run a business and do it my way, I'm going to make it to where it's not fucking miserable.
Yeah.
You've been in those jobs. You guys have been, everybody's been in those jobs where you think about it, you're like, why is it so fucking miserable? There's always got to be a better way.
There has to be not just a better way, but another way.
Yeah.
There's not one way to do everything.
No.
Yeah. It's like it doesn't just apply like this is the end all be all and that's it. If you can't do it this way, it's going to fucking fail. No. There's several ways to do different things. We're all different human beings. There's all different lines of business, but there's principles within business that you can take across to other businesses. And if I can talk and be a jackass, so can you, if that's what you want to do.
Yeah.
Whatever helps pass the time, because it's like if we're just fucking strict, like beholden to just talking serious all the damn time, and it's not only is it just serious information, it's serious stuff that we're doing, but if I can't laugh when I'm doing it, I'm gonna be fucking miserable. That's why I left all my 9-to-5 jobs and got fired from some, because I just hate being so serious. There's no reason to be that serious.
Let's be honest, you wanted to get fired from those. You're doing everything.
Sometimes I quit before I could get fired.
No, hey, respect, but I guarantee you were subconsciously doing things to be like, I don't care.
I really do.
You were testing. You were pushing boundaries.
Yeah,
I know you were.
The jobs I stayed at the longest, I had the most fun.
Yeah.
I had to leave when I stopped having fun. And to me, a job is a job, and you're only going to take it as serious as you want to. Now, what we're doing now is it's a career. Like, I look at it as long-term. It's not just a job to me. So it's like, I'm going to take this more serious. But also, if I'm the one in control of it, I'm going to do it how I want to do it. Like, I don't really have anybody to answer to. I have somebody I have to have conversations with. But I don't have to answer.
And clearly you see how they went.
And you see how they go. And we just came back from Rosarito. And that's one principle that
Shout out Motherland.
That we kind of instilled with how we do business is every time we do a drop, we have to detach. Like, if the website's open, we do everything made to order, which we can discuss on a podcast why we do made to order.
Yeah, in the future.
But the website opens, taking orders. I'm not going to sit at home and start stressing about how much I need to order of every single garment. I'm going to get away because I already put in 4 to 5 weeks, maybe even 2 months into the build-up, into getting content, into the design, to sourcing out samples and all this stuff. Why am I I need to detach. And that's what we did this past weekend. And I'm glad that we did that. And that's how we operate, is after every time we want to celebrate our wins, because if you never celebrate your wins, then what the fuck are you even doing it for?
Very true.
What are you doing for? If every win feels like a loss, are you even winning?
You did bring up something that I thought was very interesting, is the fact that you thought of this as a career, which I agree. I heard about, I guess, kind of careers and jobs a different way. A little bit after college, a friend of mine, shout out TG, and I never thought about careers and jobs in this aspect. It kind of blew my mind when I thought about it. He's like, he kind of put it to me. He's like, why would you only want to do one thing and be one thing your whole life? And he kind of explains, like, there's a lot of things I love. I love technology. I love baseball. I love gaming. And he kind of put into the sense of, like, if I can have a general direction on what I can do with each of those, and each of those probably within each kind of different job field has the same type of job skill that you need. He's like, why wouldn't I just do that? And granted, is there things you have to make sacrifice and stay long term in some of those for? Absolutely. But there's some of those where you could be there 10 years and you know what, you probably hit your peak, and that's fine. Move on to the next thing. He kind of brought it in the sense of, like, yeah, I want to learn maybe coding and staying with this technology company for this amount of years. then you know what? Maybe I want to go be a baseball coach and like a computer tech teacher in high school. And I'll do that for 10, 15 years. And then I never thought about it that way. And it makes so much sense because it's refreshing. I'm sure, kind of like you said, you stayed at the jobs you liked the most the longest because they were fun. And the minute they don't become fun, depending on it doesn't mean everybody quit your jobs. That's not what I'm saying. Depending on what your situation and your circumstances are, you could make that change.
Normalize
fairly easy.
Yeah, I want to also say we need to normalize if a job is robbing you of your peace of mind, your mental health, your just time that you could be spending with family or time that you're never going to get back. Find another job. Like, granted, don't do it the way I did, which is just fucking run yourself out to where they have to fire you. I had 5 jobs in 1 year.
Yeah, don't do that either.
Don't do that. But if I could get 5 jobs in 1 year and I was fired from the one before it and I could get another job, there's no reason you can't get another job. You just have to apply yourself. Like, the ways I did it, I sent out so many applications. I was on Indeed and all these other websites every day applying, and getting interviews and killing it in the interview. You have to know. That's how I kind of learned, okay, I don't do well with taking orders from people that don't value me. I don't do well in situations where I can't grow. I don't do well in situations where I can't be myself.
Yeah.
I don't do well in those situations. And you have to have honest conversation with yourself on who the hell you are. Know who you are. Why, if you like, I thought about this too. Like, I can't go be a veterinarian because I would cry every time I have to work on an animal. I would cry.
Hey, bro, couldn't do it.
You think I could put a dog down, bro?
Oh, no.
After we saw the dogs in Mexico, I went home and laid down with my dog for about an hour.
You know what I did when I came back with Apollo? I hugged him.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? He usually jumps off the bed after like 20 minutes because he gets hot.
Yeah.
He stayed a little extra longer.
Because he saw some traumatic
Bro,
shit.
he saw some shit. He's like, oh, this is real out here.
Yeah, it gets real. But it's like, I know that about myself. If you're like, if you get real cozy.
Couldn't be a police officer. I got too much anger issues.
Exactly.
So you know what? Don't put me in power.
Yeah. If you can't handle the sight of blood, you probably shouldn't be in the medical field. Like, you have to learn these things about yourself, get experience, apply yourself, and also have these honest conversations. And you're going to go far in fucking life. And you're going to live a happier life.
And that's what I try to tell people that too, because we have kind of a new employee with us, and he's a very curious guy. Like, he asks a lot of questions, but they're good questions, and I never stray away from answering them. Even though, like, sometimes, like, yes, I am the kind of your higher up, so like there does need to be some professionalism, but I respect the fact that he's asking, because at that age I probably wouldn't have asked that. I probably would have asked some of those questions, but not all of them. So I give him that, and they ask certain things, and I'm all like, you need to learn that this is that, and that's fine. And if this isn't for you, that's okay too. Like, I much rather you figure out what you want to do, go with that. Like, they say all the time, like, not everybody can be bosses. Yeah, and not everybody can be employees.
Yeah,
like,
not everybody could do that.
Yeah, and that's fine. Like, I know tons of people that are super comfortable and happy with what they do, and I hear like different things from like family members, like, oh, like, why don't you go and try to do this or try and do? But I'm happy with what I'm doing. Like, well, you want me to do that? Yeah. I was like, why don't you ask me what I want to do? Or why don't you ask me other questions? Why aren't you asking me, are you happy with what you're doing? Like, do you really love like being around your coworkers, or do you like the work environment? Like, ask the right questions, and not it shouldn't always just be dictated on money. And that's what everybody always dictates and gears their question towards. Oh, you know, if you do this and you could go up that and you could do that, and
you can make so much money.
Yeah, it's like, but then I can't be around for my kids' games. Like, yeah, I'm gonna miss all their games.
Yeah.
Oh, but I mean, you're helping them out for a better future. I mean, I have a pretty good setup.
Yeah, but do they understand that?
And is that fair to them?
Yeah. It's like,
it baffles me.
You have to. That's why the person you should be talking with the most is yourself,
the man or woman in the mirror.
Yeah, ask yourself, what do you want to do? What makes you happy?
What do you want? It's not that simple.
It's not. It never is. And you got to ask yourself, like, what matters to you? Okay, what are your passions? Can you make your passion into a career, or is it just a hobby? You got to be able to distinguish the two. Are you passionate about it?
That's very true.
Are you passionate about it, or is it just a hobby to you? Are you even capable of taking this passion that you're into a hobby or into a career? And if not, why aren't you? You got to take these steps back and ask yourself. And it's like, if nobody's asking you what you want to do, ask yourself, what do I even want to do?
That's a fair, and you brought up that's a good tangent, the whole hobby versus career thing, because I've seen it to where people have had these hobbies, and just because it's a hobby, and they enjoy it, that's fine. But you need to realize sometimes you don't always have to make that hobby a career to make money, because then you take away the joy out of some things. It's like, hey man, I like hiking. There's a lot of hobbies I like, baseball, boxing, a lot of different things I like to do. I don't need to make a career out of every single one of them. Like, sometimes it's not that serious. And sometimes that's why it's a hobby, because it's not supposed to be that serious.
Yeah, I remember I had a conversation when I was working at the brewery with a guy talking college football. I know way too much about college football, not just about USC football, but just college football in general.
It's pretty intense.
It's intense. And I knew more than this guy. And at the end of the conversation, he tells me, you know what, I'm going to tell my friends about this, that some kid in a bar knew more about football than I did. And he's like, you should be really proud about that. And I was like, why? He's like, because I'm a scout for the University of Tennessee football team.
Oh, wow.
And you know things that I should know about the University of Tennessee, about high school football players, about what school has the most this and that, about going to the draft and this and that. And I'm like, oh, well, I would assume that you would know that stuff. And he's like, you could be a really great scout. And I'm like, but why would I want to do that? Because then I'll lose the love for football.
Yeah.
If I'm constantly in it and I work in it, I'm going to lose the love for it. They say mechanics have the worst cars. The last thing a mechanic wants to do is work on his car.
Bro, the last thing he wants to do is work
The last thing a gardener wants to do is come home and mow his lawn. Last thing a pool guy wants to do when he gets home is clean his fucking pool. That's the last thing. You would think they'd have the best of the best. Look at your mechanic. If he has a shitty car that runs, he's a good fucking mechanic.
Yeah,
because he keeps that fucking thing alive.
Yeah. And he's probably working hard at work. He's like, you know, when I get home, no, that's my time. Fuck work.
My barber doesn't cut his own hair.
Our old barber used to cut his own hair.
Yeah, but he wasn't a barber.
Yeah, that's true too.
Yeah, like our Fernie could. He's like, I could, but why would I cut hair all day?
Why the fuck would I do that?
Why the fuck? Fernie would tell you he doesn't want to cut hair.
Nah.
Why would he cut his own?
Shout out Fernie.
Shout out Fernie.
Hey,
You're gonna be on the podcast talking about the business that you
want to do. And that's fine. But you know what? Hey, still cut a homie's hair. You know. I still need you. Selfishly.
But that. What were we talking about?
Oh, when people take their hobbies and try to make it like, and it's our nature or not our nature, but I think as like immigrants,
it's natural.
It's as immigrants, our parents are immigrants. We grew up on survival, not really entitlement or anything like that. You feel like everything has to be done to make money, and even in America, everything you should be doing, that's a business opportunity. Yeah, business is already stressful as it is. You don't need to do 30 businesses. It doesn't make sense.
No.
Hey, bro, we loved. There's a point in time where all we ever want to do is be at the gym, right? And I'm sure we've thought about like, damn, we could open our own gym. But then you realize after a few years, it's like, bro, this shit is exhausting. Just being here.
Why would I want to open up my own gym?
Yeah, no, I feel like I'm enclosed in here.
Look, you know what I like? I like to be in shape. I don't want to always be inside of a gym. No. I learned that about myself. How did I learn that about myself? I was at the gym every fucking day, and I hated going to the gym every day, but I was there.
It was dreadful.
Yeah. Then I went and trained for a half marathon. I'm like, oh, I like to kind of run.
This ain't bad.
It's not that bad. I mean, I blew up my knee.
Hey, my knees are aching right now, but I'll be all right.
Fucking hurting. But I pushed through it. But and one thing I'll say to piggyback off what you're saying about we come from like our parents are immigrants, or my dad, like, they didn't go to college.
No.
And one thing that I realized listening to the I Am Athlete podcast, Fred Taylor always says exposure leads to expansion. The more you're exposed to, the more you can expand. Our parents weren't exposed to much. So the only thing they knew is go to college and get your degree. And that's the limitations of what they knew. If they would have gone to college, got their degree, they probably would have learned like, oh, you probably don't need this. I could just tell you what you need, and you could do it on your own. But
and also when you go, depending on your field, type of field you're in, education isn't end all be all. If you're gonna be a doctor, lawyer, different story. You have to apply yourself a lot differently. If you're going for a general type of degree, marketing, you like marketing, you want to focus on that. Hey, guess what? Books aren't everything. I've known plenty of people who had a really high GPAs in college, they killed themselves with work. They never really enjoyed themselves too much, only to find out, oh wow, I don't have any 1 job experience, 2 life experience, 3 people experience. It's like, oh, nah, bro, you're 5 steps behind. Hey, but you got a piece of paper that says you're smart.
Yeah. But I don't know how to talk to people.
And you know what? That's going to put you in a bad position in jobs and in careers. But as like an immigrant parent, it's like all they tell us is like, no, you go do this so you don't have to do what I do just so you can go and have this job. But it's like, oh wow, but I need a lot more things just to have a better life.
You're set up to fail because that same immigrant parent, you go on and do that, it doesn't guarantee you a job.
No.
So when you don't find a job, when you don't find a job or success in that field that you studied for, that you spent 4 to 5 to 6 years to get, you're a failure. So you're set up to literally fail. Like it's like they have no concept of what's gonna happen. They just like, you know what, the guy that I encountered has a college degree and he's successful. But what that guy doesn't tell you is his family, he comes from a long line of people that went to college, that established maybe their own businesses or established themselves in that field, and they built connections.
Yeah.
And to where that person, when he got to a certain age, all he had to do was coast by and he was set up for success.
Absolutely.
We're set so far behind that we're trying to play. Please. I pray. Hey. Hopefully with this fucking rebrand.
I promise you.
It's like you're set so far behind with a route that you think is possible when it's not for you. It's really not. Like,
but I can't blame them because the type of jobs they have are not for the lighthearted people. These are very intense, hard labor jobs, and in their mind, anything is better than this. Which, granted, a lot of that is true. I'm not going to disagree with that.
Yeah.
But also, coming from hard labor as what I did growing up, and then working sales, being in an office, I would 1,000% be in the laborious type of outside work that I did before. Then being I was like, oh wow, like I was living this life. It's called dogma. When you live a life that somebody else wants for you, it's like, oh wow, I don't even like this. Mom's like, but I want to see you in a suit and tie every day. I was like, I fucking hate suit and ties. Yeah. I was like, I get hot, you know that. I hate sweating in a fucking suit and tie. I was like, nah, what if I could find a way to kind of do both?
Yeah.
Where I don't have to kill myself. Like, I still like putting, I 1,000% love putting on my boots every day and putting in a hard day's work. Does it need to be 100% that? No, I can do other business things to where it's like my time is split up. I don't have to burn myself out in either field.
Yeah.
But growing up, they never even that wasn't even a thought to them. They're all, nope, we just want you in a suit and tie. That's what you need to do. Go be a banker. Go be an accountant. Go be this. Go be that. It's like, well, I mean, I guess, but I don't really like those things.
Yeah. So that you have to get to know yourself. You have to have honest, uncomfortable conversations. You have to be able to find what you really want to do. For me, I took the fucking hard fucking path of thinking I could go to college when I never really liked school to begin with.
Yeah.
And to realize, like, yeah, I'm smart, but I hate being in school. I don't like it at all. I don't like the structure. I don't like how it's set up. I have issues with authority. So it's like, yeah, I was gonna fail, and I failed. When I tried to do other things in life, I failed because I never wanted to do it. And it wasn't until like I asked myself, what did I really want to do, and started doing those things, I started seeing success, because it's like now I'm putting all my effort into it. Now I'm just immersing myself into it, and it's because it's like it doesn't feel like work. It doesn't, not a second. Does it suck? Yeah, because headaches that I didn't know I was gonna fucking encounter, I encounter. But once I accomplish those things, it's like, oh, I fucking did it. Like I look down, it's like, oh, I thought of this. We learned how to screen print, and it's like I feel even better now that I put on the shirt, because it's like I actually, from getting the shirts to putting the ink on to screening, it's like, dude, I was a part of this, and there's no better feeling. Now you have to find what that feeling is for you, and the more that you have those conversations, you'll find those things. And that kind of leads into a topic that I was thinking about today, of just a phrase of, I thought about when we were driving back from Rosarito, and I said, there's no such thing as a dumb question, only dumb answers.
Yeah.
And I started thinking about that. How do I apply that to business? Okay. There's no such thing as a bad idea, just bad execution.
And not even business, just life.
Life.
Because that goes into relationships and a lot of other things too.
Mm-hmm. Apply that phrase to everything. There's no such thing as a bad idea. It's just the way you go about this idea. It's the way of crossing your T's, dotting your I's. It's a way of doing things the right way, being diligent, being what's the word I'm looking for? Consistent, and how professional you're gonna be about it. When it comes to our clothing line, we set up game plans. I have to, before we even get started on like what shirts we're gonna use, I have to come up with a design, a concept. I have to come up with
kind of a mood board on what you want to do, and
exactly.
then everything else is after the fact.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what's our resources? What's available to us? Maybe we can experiment with these things, but first, what do you? It's very simple, but what do you want?
What do you want?
What do you want out of this?
And it's like when I said there's no bad ideas, only bad execution. There's literally a franchise about a tornado that has sharks in it.
Shout out Sharknado.
There's literally a
Sharknado.
Franchise where it was about racing cars. Now they're flying They're flying into space. It's when you see these things, when you see it on TV or when you see it out, and you're like, "That's a dumb idea."
Bro, don't get mad because Hector right now has 3 Honda Civics with spoon engines and a Motec system exhaust.
You see, and you know what? I could understand that if that's all the movie was. I could understand that, bro.
Now they're on the moon.
Now they're on the moon. It's like what's dumb to you or what seems like a bad idea to you isn't a bad idea.
Nah.
You just have to work on it. You have to refine it. There's literally you could pick apart anything and it could be dumb. Like there's cars that are aliens that save the world. Transformers.
What?
Exactly. Sounds dumb.
An alien that's a car.
Yeah. It's like
Nah, it sounds dumb,
and
bro.
then when it comes to clothing lines, there's literally a guy making millions upon millions of dollars, putting things in quotation marks and selling stuff for hundreds to thousands of dollars.
You don't say his name?
I'm not going to say his name because I might cross paths with this guy. But what I'm trying to tell you is when you stay consistent, when you plan, when you put some kind of structure and you organize yourself and you make yourself you go out and seek the knowledge and apply it, you're going to see success no matter what you do. I guarantee if you put in 10% effort more than whatever the fuck you're doing now, you're going to see some results. Mm-hmm. I could speak from just watching my friend group and seeing the success they're having, and it's like unreal to them, but it's like, is it though? Because you actually took that leap of faith. There's that leap of faith that you had to take in where you had a plan.
With that leap of faith though, I will say which is I find a rarity. I never really experienced it until these last probably year and a half. There's a lot of transparency and communication amongst like the group in terms of like ideas, thoughts, feedback, critiques, just a lot of different things. And for a lot of people, I don't think a lot of people might have that. They might have a few best friends, but they're not really in that field, or they might have family members that they're close to, but they're not really in that field. I think it takes a little bit more effort on their part to kind of get honest feedback and more game.
Yes, and you have to if it's something that you really want to do, you need to figure out how to make this thing work. Fernie said something remarkable to me that I never even thought about. But the reason the cleaning product is 409 is because they tried 409 times to get that specific solution. That chemical. That cleaning chemical 409, it's because they tried 409 times. 409. And now it's sold in stores everywhere. And it's like,
you would have thought after like the 200 mark, they'd be like, fuck this.
A lot of people would have quit at fucking 100. But you have to be able to put in that effort. You have to be able to figure it the fuck out. You don't realize how close you are to success until you just keep going just a little bit further. Like we took the leap of faith. I've been wanting to start a clothing line since high school. We took the little bit of fucking effort, just a little bit. I wouldn't even say we did. We went above and beyond. No, it wasn't even above and beyond. Our first drop, success. Any money, as soon as we had the first purchase, I was like, I feel a success. When I started seeing all the other purchases, I'm like, oh wow, Now imagine if I put just a little bit more effort and started keep going and going and going. Apply that to whatever you want to do. Like, I'm sure one day we're going to have Damien on. I'm pretty sure now that he had his first drop, now he's working on his second drop. It's like, fuck, fam, all I had to do was this to get my first drop out. Oh, I could do that. What can I do if I just did a little bit more work for the next one? Or if I just, maybe since I did this, now I could do this. It's like, once you achieve something, you know how to do it. Now let's try to one up it. Let's try to put something else.
And I will say with a lot of the people like that, that's how you know it's a passion of theirs, because they keep wanting to get better. No matter what success they have, and we have some friends that are pretty successful in what they do, they always ask, and they always are still trying to go a little bit more forward or take the extra step. It's like, oh no, like they really do care, because you would think at some point, like people that are millionaires, it's like, oh, they have millions of dollars. Like, yeah, if I had millions of dollars, I'd be cool. I'm not doing shit anymore. It's like, but they're also millionaires for a reason, and they're also successful for a reason, because they keep wanting to keep
and
going.
It's easier. Like every interview I listen to with entrepreneurs and rappers and stuff like that, your first million is the hardest.
And rappers are entrepreneurs.
Your first million's hardest to get.
Yeah.
But that third comes way easier, because you have more resources. You have a wider network. Once you get to a certain level, it's like when you play a video game. You pass that first level, you can move on to the second level with all that knowledge you already used with everything else that you already did. It's like, just because you've already done it doesn't mean you just fucking forget it. No. Whatever you learned here, you might have to apply 4 years down the road. It's like, oh, I remember when I encountered this issue, I did this, so let me apply it to this. It's like, it's just troubleshooting, just trying shit, and then trying shit until you eventually get it done.
And I think that is an honest conversation a lot of people have to have with themselves. We live in such a, what's that word? Microwave? Is that what you say?
Yeah, microwave society.
Where everything's instant. Everything's
instant
fast.
gratification.
Instant gratification. I learned it at a young age that about things take time, and you have to work on things. It's because I remember, like, I remember growing up and I was seeing like these skilled laborers, and like they could do certain like the ways some of them created stone to look a certain way, and I'm like, how the fuck do they do that? And my dad was telling me, he's like, it's good. Everything takes time. He's like, just because they're doing it fast, nah, they weren't like that. They weren't like that 10 years ago. They're like that because they're at that now.
Yeah,
it's like, and that's why they're in the position they're in. That's why they're valuable. And that goes to anything in life. Like, you think you're gonna be good in the first year? You think you're gonna be great in the first year? More than likely, probably not. His name is Valentina.
Hey, right out the gate.
Right out the gate, shot my shot. Shout out. But you're not gonna be good at everything right away. You might be talented in a certain aspect. You're like, oh, maybe I could do something with this, but keep building at it, keep working at it. But you have to understand, you're probably not going to be super successful right off the back. You're probably not going to be the best right off the back, and that's fine. Like, you have to have enough self-esteem to hear certain things and feedback and criticisms, but that's fine. You know what? Because everybody starts somewhere. But you also, not to be mean, but you can't be pussy about it. Like, you have to toughen up a little bit and be like, okay, that's fine.
No. To chase your dreams, you can't be pussy about it. You have to ride so hard for yourself and your beliefs, and you have to stand on the courage of your convictions that this is what I want to do. Like, I can apply this to, like, the same thing you said about the skilled laborers. Like, when I first started cleaning pools, it took me an hour.
You're like,
now I got it.
You
make shit look so easy.
Yeah.
Because of how you learn. You do something enough, putting the 10,000 hours in, putting up your 10,000 shots, just putting the time in, it's gonna get easier. Now when it comes to designing, now when it comes to making a song, like, people probably forgot that I make music. It's like, it gets so much easier because I put that time in. It's like
streaming on all platforms.
And we make podcasting look easy when people come and they see, like, how we do it. It's like, yeah, bro, because we already did 90 episodes. We talk.
It's true.
Every day. We put the work in. We ask ourselves, how can we make it better? What can we do to do this? It's like, it's that work. And I'll be honest with you too, it doesn't feel like work because it's something that we genuinely want to do. It doesn't feel like work because it's in my mind, it's in his mind. Like, no, this is what we want to do. So
not to say it doesn't come with exhaustion, frustration. Oh, no. Look, all those are emotions and all those things you're gonna feel. But that's in any fucking aspect of life, whether it's business, relationships, hobbies, whatever it's going to be. You're going to have those feelings. But then you also have to ask yourself, it's like, well, fuck, I mean, I could be exhausted doing some shitty job I really don't want to be in. So at the end of the day, it's like, then I guess it's not that bad. It's not that bad. Hey, bro, you're already tired at work or at previous jobs you never wanted to do. And you stayed there for probably, or relationships months and years longer than you shouldn't have. But you stayed there. So why wouldn't you do it with this? Or anything that you kind of genuinely like or want to try out?
Yeah.
I also think that's not that it baffles me, but how people, not that people, but just how people make fun of others for trying new things. Like, I'm sure you heard it a lot, like, you're fucking doing music? Like,
oh, bro, I heard it way before that. I heard it when I was working in LA trying to style, and I was trying to post my outfits on Instagram just to get noticed, and people are like, oh, you think you're cute?
Oh, you think you're cool?
You think you're cool, bro? Oh, you know how to dress? You think you know how to dress? I think I do. I mean,
and
the person I work for says so.
And if not, trying to get better.
Why would you shame anybody for trying anything? Like, I know we're going on a tangent, so it kind of sounds preachy, but you're gonna look crazy. There's people that doubted what I was doing, that now ask me questions, that now I have their respect, no matter if it was the music, the fashion, the clothing line, the podcast, that made fun of. Everybody makes fun of stuff they don't understand, which is such an ass backwards kind of trait. It's very naive, immature, but they do. Once they learn and they respect, that's when we can get past that and we can actually get to growth, and we can actually help each other out. You're gonna encounter shit as long as you surround yourself with good people. Like, if I didn't have the people I have in my corner telling me, like, no, keep going for it, no, keep doing it, hey, you're not at the end of the road, but you're not as bad as you think you are. Like, it can only go up from here. Like, just little shit back like that goes a long way for somebody taking a risk, because you already doubt yourself as it is. Like, being a creative person or being an entrepreneur, you kind of already have
or
those.
Just being a human being. There's so much self-doubt.
So much self-doubt. You're your own worst critic. So
which is fine.
Somebody just says something of like, hey, I like that. Oh, that'll take you so far. That'll take you so far. Of like, it just reaffirms. You're like, that's why if you've ever reached out to somebody and you said, hey, that was really dope what you did, and they told you like, oh, thank you so much, like, I appreciate it, it means the world to me that you said that, because it really fucking does. Because sometimes you feel like you're just talking to yourself, and then when somebody gives you that validation that, hey, I like it, it's like, oh fuck, yes, please, thank you, God. And then when you get constructive criticism, you also have to know how to take constructive criticism. But when you get that, it's like, okay, now we're taking another step of like, you appreciate what I'm doing, but you're also telling me how to get better at what I'm doing.
Point of the matter is, guys, if fucking Sharknado could do it and Fast and Furious is flying to the moon, you could fucking do it, regardless of what it is. Killed that topic. I did want to hit on, I know we said we didn't want to talk about relationships, but there was a certain thing that came up.
Yes.
That I feel we should talk about in a mature taste now.
Yes.
Yes. Kind of. About the whole Steve Harvey and platonic relationships.
Yeah.
And kind of.
I didn't watch the clip. I didn't need to watch the clip.
Oh, I watched it.
Oh.
I watched it. And he was pretty much saying, because there was a girl that was interviewing him, and he's like, okay, like, I'm just going to summarize in my own words. He's like, all right, let's be honest now. Let's be honest. I have a wife. All right. I don't. At some point, like, and you're the opposite sex, I'm gonna find you attractive. Like, the temptation's gonna be there. Like, I don't need. And he says, he's like, I don't have any female platonic friendships, or he's like, I don't want to have. I think he literally said, I don't want to have any friends that are females, and it just sounded like, and that's why I think everybody saw the quote. He's like, oh, it just sounds like this dude has no. He has no confidence in, like, not being able to cheat and doing all these things. Like, he's so easy to.
Yeah, he can't keep it in his pants.
Yeah, it pretty much was what he was saying, and that's how he came across as. Which I heard that, and I'm like, I heard what he said. I was like, I get what you mean, and yes, but also no. I feel like, yeah, I mean, maybe if you're. I don't even think age dictates this. I think life experience dictates
life experience.
But you can, yes, when you're younger and you're not experiencing life, there's going to be temptations and you're going to do things. Maybe those platonic friendships that you have, they're going to be opportunities that present themselves and you're going to be like, yeah, I'm going to jump on it. As you get older and you start realizing like, oh no, there's a lane for everything. Like you don't need every girl that you're friends with, you don't need to try and sleep with.
No.
And vice versa for girls. Every guy friend that you have is not a potential suitor either. Like it doesn't need to always be like that. Maybe when you're younger and inexperienced, I guess the lines are very blurry lines. That's just being
the
young.
blurred lines, what Robin Thicke said.
I think it's talking about different blurry lines, but you get what I mean.
Those are lines.
You get what I mean in terms of it doesn't have to always be one thing, and it's not always going to be that. I'm sure you have platonic relationships. I have platonic relationships with women. It's like, yeah, guess what? Like I know women. I grew up with women. You grew up with a lot of women in your household. Yeah, you don't need to sleep with every single woman you meet, but you know dudes, and I know girls that every opposite sex friends they have. I know for a fact if the opportunity presented themselves, they would do it.
And which it sounds fucked up because when I hear Steve Harvey say that, like, I have no women that work for me, it's like, oh well, then your whatever business you're doing probably isn't at the potential it could be because you're not hiring the best candidate. You're just, I can't have any women because I don't trust myself to keep my dick in my pants. It's like, hey bro, how unevolved are you? Like you don't
like it's really mouth breather vibes.
Yeah,
I was like,
it's like, and it's, I mean, not to say I didn't expect that coming from like an older person, but it's like you would think just because people are older, they're mature. It's not always the case. Like,
fuck no.
Is it possible that you have friends of the opposite sex and you have no sexual relationship with? Yeah. Is it possible that you also might? Probably, because we're all fucking adults. Yeah. That's why they make the joke about work wives and work husbands. Like you're constantly around each other, constantly around each other enough. And I always abided by the rule of like, don't shit where you eat.
No, never.
I did that once, and I'm like, I'm never doing that again. And
you needed to touch the stove, didn't you?
Hey, I had to. You had to make sure the flame's hot. And I still wonder how she's doing. Anyway, look, what I mean. Jackass. Look. You can work with people and not do that. Like, you don't want to make the workplace uncomfortable? Then don't. There's plenty of fish in the sea. If you think just because you work with the woman that you're going to sleep with her, hey, dude, the only reason you think that is because that's probably the only woman you're talking to.
Yeah.
Go talk to somebody else. Go to a fucking bar. Go do something. You might find the love of your life. Your love of your life isn't your coworker.
Probably not. More than likely, probably not. You know what that your love of your life is? Probably doing something that maybe you like, maybe has a similar hobby, or maybe has a very distinct hobby that you would probably never try, but you respect that person or you admire that person, and you might try it.
And the way I look at it as well, I heard this in an interview. Women will take you farther in life than men will, and when it comes to men in the workplace, like having a woman in your corner that will go to bat for you for anything, and they'll put you in positions to succeed, because at least what I've encountered is when you have those platonic friendships, it's very like nurturing. It comes across of like, look, I'm either going to treat you as a brother, you're my sister, or you could like a mother-son type of thing. Either way, you genuinely care about that person. Yeah. You as you get older and you fucking put on your mature hat and realize and you know how to define what relationships are, you can distinguish sexual tension from love. They're not the same thing. And when you genuinely, and then there's even separating what love is. There's a romantic love, and then there's just a love that you care for somebody. Like, I can say I love you to a friend, and it means I genuinely care about you. I'll do whatever for you. I'm there. Whatever. If you need me, call me. It doesn't mean I want to get fucking married. No. It doesn't mean that I want to be in a relationship and ruin the friendship. The cliche of we're better as friends than we are lovers, that's true, because you're not meant to be with every woman you encounter, guys. You're not meant to. And sometimes you got to find that out the hard way, and then you lose out on a great fucking friend. And you could be so lucky that this person comes back into your life later down the road like, hey, we kind of really, no pun intended, fucked that one up.
Yeah.
And
don't fuck it up twice.
But what I've noticed is women will bat hard putting out this clothing line, doing music, putting out this podcast, women, if they fuck with you, they fuck with you. And they're going to
shout out women.
Shout out women. I almost quoted Zach Fox right there.
Exactly what you're gonna say.
Yeah.
Do not say that.
Do not say
Hey, bro,
it. Look,
we rebranded. We cannot get canceled on our first episode.
Look, more so than I could say for guys, when it comes to same-sex friends and women, I've noticed
they'll attest to this.
They'll attest to it. You can be more brutal when it comes to same-sex friendships. Women, more oftentimes than not, they kind of either they're more harsh when they criticize other women. Guys are assholes when they criticize other guys. Like it's very territorial. Like it's very rare. Like when you have a friend, like for me, I have instances where I have guy friends that I will go above and beyond for, and I don't see them as competition. But I can't say that for all guys feel that same way. Guys are very territorial. They're territorial with their women. For those of you that gone to college, you can't get into a fucking fraternity party unless you can name 5 active members. And even then, they could tell you that those guys don't even go here and they won't let you in the party. Or you could literally know a guy and they could tell you they don't know who you are because they're intimidated of the fact that you're going to take away whatever woman is there. So you...
Hold on now. Look,
I'm not talking about you. I'm not talking about you.
It's liability reasons, first of all. But okay, go on.
Yeah.
You're losing your women.
I'm liable to take the women. I'm fucking liable. But... guys are very territorial. Women could also be territorial. Mm-hmm. It's just, but when you see the opposite sex and you're like, you know what? I want to help you out because I genuinely care about you. Like, I can't fucking shout out Ari because whenever she reposts something that we do, she goes above and beyond of like writing certain ways, styling
shout
it.
Out Ari.
Yeah, and it's like, oh, I would never have thought to do that. And like she rides hard for us and who we are, what we do. And there's no, like, I can't say enough how much I appreciate that. And that's more than I can say that any guy would want to do. Like, shout out you, Damien. I don't want Damien to think that we don't. Yes.
You don't go unnoticed or unappreciated.
Yes,
I told you this.
You don't. But I'm using this as the platonic example of when women care, they're going to rally their fucking troops to also care and support. Guys, not so fucking much.
It's literally the meme of let's roll, friends.
Let's roll, friends.
Oh, he's got
we support 2 of these motherfuckers.
Oh, let's roll, friends. That's exactly what she's the embodiment of that meme.
Yeah.
Shout out Ari.
Yeah.
Literally the embodiment.
And it's
you rarely will ever come across it because for whatever reason people are territorial or it's ego based or it's I don't know what it is. It's very hard being transparent and being cool with people that are the same sex because of whatever the dynamic is. But if you come across those relationships like Damien, like Adam, like other people in my life, hey bro, you best hope don't fuck those up.
Yeah.
Hold those nearest and dearest and just do that.
Don't fuck those up. Appreciate those. And
I'm going to say this about the whole talk relationships. Guys, girls, doesn't matter. Don't ask the questions. Just operate on the assumption of something might have happened. Because I've seen it many times.
Oh, you're speaking about like a girl you're dating or a girl dating a guy.
Yeah, or a girl dating a guy. Like I've had friends that like they're oh no, like I've been talking to this girl, but she has like a lot of guy friends. I was like before you even ask, I don't know. Don't ask her. It's none of your business, man. It's from here on out how she dictates that relationship is on her. I was like operate on the assumption that it might have happened, it might not have. And if you're already starting to think about it and you're taken back by it, then you're not
don't
confident.
do it.
You're not confident enough to
don't
be
go.
In that. Yeah, back up out of that relationship.
Yeah,
don't even start.
Don't even go further.
Yeah,
just you have to know yourself. If you know that makes you uncomfortable, or the fact of hey, I'll say like a girl with a guy. If you think the guy you're into probably had sex with a friend that's still in his life and they're just friends now, you have to ask yourself if you trust that, and if you don't trust it or you feel intimidated by it, then don't even bother furthering whatever that is. Like, hey, just shake hands, keep it moving. Like, you know what? I can't handle that, and you got to know that about yourself, and vice versa. If you're intimidated by a girl you're dating having too many guy friends and you think that she probably slept with one of them and that guy's always going to be around and it's always going to be eating at you, don't even be there.
Hey, you're not confident enough to be there.
You're not confident
and you know what?
There.
And that's fine. But I do want to normalize that. Damn, these Topo Chicos hit. I do want to normalize that where you can have platonic relationships. I think the world would be a lot better place if a lot of people more had platonic relationships.
If you don't want to fuck everything.
Yeah, I think the world would be a lot better place. There's millions of women. There's millions of men. You can fuck them anywhere. You don't have to be with your friendships all the time. But I want to normalize that. I want to be that to be a thing because I feel like the world would be a better place. But if that's going to be the case, people are going to date. People are going to do these things. So guy, girl, whatever you identify as, operate on the assumption that the case, it might have been a thing. Don't ask. It's none of your concern. Why does it matter? Figure that out. Like I pray that people start thinking about these things because a lot of dudes would be better if they had more platonic girlfriends and vice versa.
She had sex before me.
Oh my God.
Oh
Heathen.
my fucking God.
Heathen.
It's like, yeah, dude, and you also did
holy water
too.
on.
You also did too. So if you want to have
Nope.
a
Never did.
virgin, go find a virgin.
It's also we won't get into that topic, but it's also a very weird thing that people
Yeah,
like.
it's very weird. But you have to know. If you want a woman that she doesn't talk to any guy that she's ever slept with, then find her. Have good luck finding her.
I was gonna say I doubt that she exists.
Yeah.
And I doubt he exists too.
Yeah. Good luck finding that woman.
Everybody has a past.
That has no past. And you guys need to ask yourself, and Steve Harvey needs to ask himself this as well. Guys, ask yourself this. Does she even want to fuck me? What makes you think that she even wants to fuck you, dude? What makes you even think that? Like, because
I'm powerful.
Oh, you know, because
I have a lot of money.
I'm me. Like, oh, you think so?
hey, bro, you're not Denzel, man. Like,
yeah. And not every woman wants to fuck Denzel either.
No, not either. Hey, bro, you think you're the alpha in the group?
Yeah.
You're not.
You're not.
Hey, bro,
you might be
I'm an A-type personality. No, you're just an asshole personality.
Yeah. Or you might be the only guy in the group. So that may be why you think you're an alpha.
Yeah.
Or maybe you just surrounded yourself with a bunch of betas. Did you ever ask that question? Because I guarantee you, bro, not every woman wants to fuck you. I know it's glass shattering. I know it's hard to believe. I know you probably think you have the biggest dick in the world too. And that might be it might be a lot for you to take in right now, but it wasn't a lot for her.
No pun intended.
So just operate with the, hey man,
not my business.
It's not my business. I want the best people around me to succeed. Like, for me, I don't care who's in these positions, as long as it's the best candidate. If it's the best person available, then we're gonna get it done right. I don't care if they're a part of this demographic, that demographic. Are you the best candidate or not?
And are you a good person?
Are you a good person? If I'm not gonna hire, if I'm having to choose, if I'm Steve Harvey and I'm looking for somebody to run my marketing, and it's a really good female candidate and a subpar dude. And it's like, you know what? I'm going to go for the subpar guy because I'm not going to want to fuck him. And I'm sorry, you're just not what we're looking for. Like, what?
How does that make any sense? Hey, doesn't, right?
Good luck with your business. And if it fails, you only have yourself to
or
blame.
life.
And how do you think your wife feels? Like,
right?
How do you think your wife feels hearing that of like, oh, anytime he's around women, he just wants to fuck?
So now, if I'm his wife, now I have to think about all the times we've been around other women, or the times that he's around, potentially around women.
Oh my God.
Bro, you know how exhausting that would be?
Has he been around my friends and secretly wanted to fuck them?
The answer is probably yes.
Hey, bro, you thinking you're being transparent and oh, mic drop. I just put knowledge out there. This is how men think. No, that's just how your horny ass thinks. And now your wife knows you're a horny ass dude.
Which, if you're a horny ass dude, that's also fine too, bro. But there's a way to maneuver around that.
Hey, perfectly fine, bro. Duct tape that thing.
Heathens, I tell you. All right, well, it's safe to say we killed that one too.
Killed that topic. Fucking Rebrand is off to a fucking
off to a start.
Off to a fucking start.
I think you brought this one up, the Cactus Jack 6s.
Yeah.
Which I'm not a super huge like sneakerhead. So
I'm not a huge.
I'm gonna speak to that demographic.
Yeah.
Because I know not all dudes are huge sneakerheads. I'm not a huge. I know about some sneakers.
Yeah.
I know a general consensus of it.
I am not the biggest sneakerhead either, but I can appreciate the art. I can appreciate
the vision.
I can appreciate, and I'm also not a huge Jordan guy. I like the Jordan 5s. I like the way they look. I'm not a huge ones guy. I like the Grateful Dead dunks. There's just shoes that I like that I can like. I like those.
Yeah.
I'm probably not gonna pay that price for them, but
or you might even not wear some of those, but you're like, you know what? I could appreciate that. That's cool.
Yeah, but I'm also a person to where it's like, if you're gonna buy a shoe, wear it. Like, I think that's cool. Of like, yeah, I bought this. And
you think that also speaks on to the fact of like, hey, bro, sometimes like not every hobby needs to be a business. Like, hey, bro, you don't have to. Resell. You can
reselling killed
something.
Culture. It did. It honestly did, because it's like, now you can't get these products. Like, I can't tell you how long I've tried to get like an FTP item, and it's sold out. And it's like, well, what's the point now? I can't even get it. And if I want to buy it, it has to be X amount, or I have to know somebody with bots.
Like, I've thought about this. Like, we've even talked about this. Like, if we make it onto like the resale game, we made it. Now that you think about it, I'm like, I don't want to do that.
No, I don't want to. I want everybody to have an equal opportunity to get my stuff. That's why we do the made to order, to enjoy it. When it comes to the Travis Scott shoes, like, I not the biggest fan of everything he does. I'm not even the biggest fan of his music, but I can appreciate how he's killing it in business. I can appreciate what he's doing. I can appreciate even the rollout, the little commercial he did with Rip Hamilton, which, if you know basketball, you know who Rip Hamilton is. Detroit Pistons, Chicago Bulls.
Put the mask on.
Where's the mask? He did his iconic free throw shot routine where he dribble, side, shoot. And that's fucking cool to me. Now, do I know what a Jordan 6 looks like? No, I don't. Am I going to buy the shoe?
Yeah.
No. But I'm like, oh, he's doing something cool. He found something else. Travis Scott's literally killing it with Sharpie collab. He has his own seltzer, cacti. He has the collab with McDonald's. It's like, bro, that's somebody that's killing it in business. Like, he's one that is just working, saw his opportunity, and capitalizing off of it.
And I want to say this, because this is very important. He's not just stamping his name. Well, actually, on the Sharpie, he is. It just is.
Yes.
But on most other things, it's a collaborative effort. Like, you could see, like, I'm sure they probably spoke to him about a few designs. It's like, maybe we should try this. He seems like a guy that whatever he puts his name on, he probably tries to go about it a certain way, because he has a certain image to portray.
And it's cohesive. Like, you could tell that's a Travis Scott thing.
100%.
You could tell.
By the color, by the presentation, everything. Like, I know certain color waves are going to be him.
Yeah.
And he's defined that. And that's on him. Like,
like, if you see anything with like earth tone brown, like my pants, it's probably cacti. It's probably cactus. It's Travis Scott.
Or
when
like,
I see brown
or that green.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what the exact green is.
I don't know the name of the color, but when I see brown, I think of Travis Scott. That's how you know he's killing it in business. When you see certain colorways, you think of that. And like I'm trying to think of other fucking colors here. That are particular. Like, when I see black and gold, I think of Drake, OVO.
Or Wiz Khalifa.
Or that's black and yellow.
Oh, that's close.
It's like, he's worked so hard at establishing his brand and what his brand is, that's why it's successful everywhere he goes. Is because, I worked at this for years. Before he was Travis Scott today, he was a Travis Scott 10 years ago. And putting the work in. Like, if you saw the Netflix documentary, he has a fucking Netflix documentary. Like,
who has those? I'm gonna tell you,
not everybody.
Not a lot of people.
Not a lot of people.
Not a lot.
And I can appreciate that. Like, today, Alec and I were talking about, because I saw some patchwork that this Japanese brand Capital did, and I sent it to him, and he's like, Capital always kills it. They are, I think, the gods when it comes to patchworking shit. Like, they were the first ones to do the paisley print shirts and stuff.
Oh.
So, like, and they patched it from other bandanas. So it's like, when I see certain stuff, I know it's them.
Yeah.
And when I see certain colorways, like when I see very soft earth tones that are loose fitting clothes, I know it's probably fear of God. And you have to, that's one thing you may not like the brand, you may not like the person, but when you see it, you know it's that person, and you got to start analyzing, why is that? What did they do what
did they do right? Even though you might not like it, you might not wear it, but obviously they did something right because it's stuck to you.
You know what's crazy is by us doing what we're doing with our brand, like, I have people that send stuff to me, like, I could see you doing something like this. Like this fits
I've heard
your
the same.
aesthetic.
I heard this.
This like when it comes to my music, Arturo will say like, oh, like I could see you doing a song like that.
Mm-hmm.
And or I literally thought like, oh, this could be an Adam song.
Yeah.
And
I hear a certain guitar rip, I'm all that's a Sinner staple right there.
And I don't have it all figured out, but it's you. If you watch the people already doing it, if you pay attention to the people that you look up to, your icons, they'll tell you exactly how to do it. If you pay attention and you listen and you analyze what they're doing, like, okay, this person does this, this, and this. Okay, why are they successful? It's because they do that, and that, and that's what they do. Like it's the full picture. It's more than just like when it comes to having a clothing line, knowing how to draw real good. Okay, perfectly fine. You know how to draw real good. That's more than I know how to do. That's more than most know how to do. Okay, what kind of shirt are you going to put that on? Are you going to put on a hoodie? What color hoodie are you going to put it on? Okay, what are you going to use as a secondary item to complement that? Where are you going to shoot this thing?
Do you know what season this is going to be applied to?
There's so much stuff, and it's just like, oh, well, bro, I just drew something. It's like, no, this is stuff you got to think about. Because it's not just, I did this and I slap it on a shirt and it's gold because that's what I thought that Virgil did, or that's what I thought fucking Jerry Lorenzo did, or this person did.
I feel like sometimes that's a little bit what Supreme does too.
Yeah, they built their brand.
Yes, they did, and I'll respect them
doing that.
No, I respect that, but some things I'll see and they just put a stamp on it and they're all good to go.
Bro, if I were to go put a Heaven's Demons stamp on a sledgehammer, you'd be like, "Why are you copying Supreme?" Right?
No, but that was the name of their game.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's their brand.
Yeah, they're the only ones that have been able to do that.
Yeah,
I haven't seen anybody else that could do that to where I see it and I'm nah, you can't be doing that.
Hey, but when you see some Heaven's Demons handcuffs,
shut up.
That's us, baby. That's us.
Hey, you know what time it is?
It's you. When it comes to this Travis Scott,
Pen and penny.
I'm sorry.
I said patent pending.
Patent pending. There's a lot of stuff patent pending on. If only we had a 3D printer. Look. It was true to size. Anyway, look. Am I going to be first in line? Am I going to try to contact somebody with bots to try to get me a pair of these? Probably not. But I can look at it and be like, you know what? This dude's killing it. What he's doing is blazing a trail for everybody else behind him. Like Kanye blazed a trail for everybody that came behind him. And if you analyze his family tree of all the people that are underneath him that now are multimillionaires, that have their own businesses, that have several businesses, Travis Scott's one of those people underneath. Virgil, Jerry Lorenzo, Kid Cudi. There's Don C. There's a bunch of people underneath him and a bunch more that I'm forgetting to name. Heron Preston's another one because he's underneath Virgil. Virgil, yeah. It's his family trees. What I'm saying is you can learn something and you got to be thankful for the people that are running through the wall because they're making a door for you. Let them run through the fucking wall because it's just so much easier for you to come right behind.
And there's something to be said about that because that doesn't necessarily, like, yes, do they all have their own lines and their own lines are doing great? Yes. They're also doing a lot of other things in different fields that they probably have no business in, but they know how business works and they know how to make a good product. Knowing how to make a good product goes a long way other than just clothing. It goes in every part of life.
So going off of what you just said, when it comes to you starting a business, know exactly what you're selling. You have to know, what are you even selling? What is your brand? Or what if what you're doing is like if you're doing cupcakes or if you're doing cakes, okay? What makes your cake different from all these other cakes? Well, all these other bakeries or these other people that do pastries, what makes it, okay, why should I buy from you? Okay, well, what I want to do is I want to use vegan products. Okay, there's other vegan companies that do it. What makes yours so different? What's going to make you stand out from everybody else? What makes it to where to get this, I can only go to you?
Like at some point there has to be a vision. There has to be like
You're not the only masonry company.
Absolutely not.
Why do people go to you? Sure, there's a long list of reasons that they go to you versus going to somebody else. And it took your dad and you to figure out those things and to bullet point those and to just know what the fuck are we doing here?
Yeah. What's our strengths? What do we want to do? And how do we do this the most efficient way?
Exactly. Learn that. So if there's anything to take away from this fucking episode, and also say this, in learning, watching this podcast go from DNA podcast to 91 episodes to now we decided to rebrand at episode 92 to start over. We're not really starting over. We're building upon what we already started, but we're just rebranding.
Foundation set.
Yeah,
foundation set.
It never hurts to rebrand. I remember listening to an interview of music artists and celebrities should change their image and look every 6 months.
Oh wow!
Every 6 months.
I would have thought they would have said like every year or two.
No, longer than that. They say every 6 months because people get bored of looking at the same thing. You have to constantly improve. You have to. That's why you'll see people with different hairstyles. Yeah. They'll go through different clothing styles because if they just see the one thing, it's kind of like, and you should always constantly be trying to reinvent yourself. Who wants to stay stagnant? If you're staying stagnant, you're not progressing. So when
watch some tape, be honest with yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Can you get better?
Be honest with it.
Mm-hmm.
And rebranding it's never a bad thing. It's just now you kind of figured out, okay, I figured out what I do want to do, what I don't want to do. What am I going to do it for? And then, hey, this shit might not work either, and we might be in for another rebrand.
And you know what?
Hopefully not.
Hey, also, that's fine.
Hopefully not. Hopefully this works.
Hey, guys, shocker. I'm going to tell you something. Never tell anybody. Adam and I have both failed at life in certain things.
Oh, fuck.
I know. I know you wouldn't suspect that.
You would never
from
guess
two
that.
young entrepreneur stallions that we are. But it's happened. Hey, you know what? And we're still here, baby. We're still getting through this.
Still
we're
here,
going to get
still
better.
Pushing.
We're trying.
So if there's anything I could say, we're going to wrap up the podcast. We don't want to go to 2 hours.
We're going to go 2 hours. Keep it short. Keep it short and sweet.
I don't even know what mark we're at. I think we're at
like this Topo Chico that they didn't supply for us or sponsored us, but we're sure hoping for it. So Topo Chico, if you're out there.
If you're listening.
I will find you.
Mm-hmm. I don't have any money.
But I do have
a certain set of
skills
that make me an asset for a company like you.
Look
at that chemistry. You only get that kind of chemistry with 91 episodes and 15 years of friendship. Either way, look, I'm glad we're rebranding. It's exciting for me. It's something new. It's like
likewise,
and
it's refreshing.
I like this Topo Chico.
I'm sorry. Go on. You're going on a tangent.
I was trying to wrap this up. Look, for all the listeners that are still with us, please do not be afraid to DM us any questions that could be helpful in your line of work, whether it's photography. He's a photographer. He doesn't talk about it, but
there's a lot of things to be fair, there's a lot of things that we both do that we don't talk about or publicize. Doesn't mean we don't have knowledge about it. Mm-hmm. And hey, guess what? And for those people that want to reach out and do that, there's things that you might come to me about or come to him about, and we don't know. But you know what? We probably know somebody who might know.
We're
like
that
shocker.
Or a YouTube University. Like this whole thing is YouTube University.
Hey, that's how we got here, baby.
Sometimes you just gotta not fake it till you make it. You gotta wing it. Mm-hmm. You gotta wing it. You gotta figure things out.
Blind confidence.
Mm-hmm.
You just gotta have faith. Hey, do you know how to use that? I don't know how to use that. I guess we'll figure it out.
That's all it is.
That's all it is.
But with that first you don't succeed, dust yourself off and try again.
Dust yourself off and try it again.
But just don't go chasing waterfalls.
TLC reference?
What are you talking about?
I mean, you said chasing waterfalls. It's TLC reference.
No, I never heard it.
All right,
that's interesting. We're gonna go ahead and get on out of here. We're just gonna creep on out.
You said creep. You're not aware that's a TLC reference?
No, I just have a severe stuttering problem. Specifically with that word.
That's
only that word.
It's interesting. I never recognized it in 91 podcasts beforehand, but
hey, maybe you start paying attention.
Maybe I just got to pay more attention to detail. With that being said, we appreciate y'all for listening. Please comment, like, subscribe. Go ahead and reach out to us. We're open book. You know we're not here to judge. We're only here for good time. Trying to put you on game. Y'all can put us on game. We're open to criticism as well.
And if you want to come on the podcast,
reach out too.
Hey,
doesn't hurt to ask.
Hey,
you'd be surprised how far you get by just asking.
You miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
Wayne Gretzky.
Michael Scott.
Big facts. With that being said, we love y'all. We appreciate y'all. Until hopefully next week. Until then, deuces.
Later.
All right, breaking news.
Oh, shit.
I just want, guys, I know we wrap things up, and I know we already stop the clip, but there is some breaking news. I wanted to go ahead and announce it live on this podcast. Well, it's actually not live, but it's gonna be live when you watch it. Beep 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 beep. And I turn it over to Adam.
Heaven's Demons has another drop. Forgive the Forgotten.
Oh my God, I'm wearing it.
Oh my God, I have a design on mine too.
Holy shit.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
It's a nice shirt you have there.
It fits nice. It feels comfortable. You know what? It feels soft.
Oh,
it feels comforting.
Hey, you know what it is? Soft. Softening. That's a Heaven's Demons. It's a pillar of ours.
It's a staple of sorts.
Yeah. Hey, good smell and soft clothing.
Hey, that's what we are. That's what we stand for.
Who doesn't love that, right?
I couldn't tell you.
But that's one of our designs. He has one. I have one on.
Mm-hmm.
There's 2 different color waves. You have the black. Mm-hmm. You have the mushroom, which is a nice. So that's a nice like kind of earth tone.
Earthy brown.
Earthy brown. Both of them have the same band tee style with the Mexican American War in the back, which we do go ahead and we have on our blog and our website. So if you guys want to check that out, it will be in the bio.
I'm once again asking you to support Heaven's Demons
In a time of need.
in our time of need.
Because we wouldn't be here without you.
We really wouldn't.
Inflation's really going up, guys. I'm just kidding. But we have the tees, guys.
We have the shorts. We have the biker shorts. We have the hats.
Wait, hold on. We have the 5-inch biker shorts with pockets.
Oh, the custom length?
No, the biker shorts.
Oh, the biker shorts.
The biker shorts with the 5-inch inseam with pockets that have been approved by the many women.
They're squat proof.
Squat proof. We did our
due diligence.
Our due diligence. Our A&D. Our A&R. Is it A&D?
What? What are you saying?
Research and development.
Yeah.
R&D. Fuck, yeah. I'm dumb. Our R&D.
We gotta send you the ELD, huh?
See, there's a lot of things we researched about this, so we got this approved. We didn't want girls to be out there with camel toe. We didn't want them to be see-through.
We want you to be comfortable.
We want you to be comfortable. Wear this. This is approved to be worn in the summer. You can work out with this. You can do anything. You set your little heart on this, and it's a good product.
Yeah,
I guarantees it. And then we also have our 6.5-inch inseam male mesh shorts.
Well, not just male. Women could buy.
Women could buy it too. Hey, they're unisex, baby.
It's our mesh basketball shorts
in black.
Custom. You're not gonna find shorts that length with those size pockets. You're just not gonna find.
Those are custom made, by the way. These are all custom tailored. We will not sell you something that we just go ahead. Hey, we're not gonna be that brand that just throws on just our name and there you go. We're to go above and beyond for you guys because we respect you, respect ourselves. We want you to have a good one. Oh, also, last one, we have our Buffalo Skull cap, which is in a new era blank. That one we did go ahead and just throw design on it, but it's a good product.
It's a well thought out design.
It's a well thought out design, and not just that, it's unisex. So girls, many girls have bought it already. There's guys that have bought it already. They're very form fitting. They're kind of like dad hats, but they're not too much like dad hats. So it gives you that little bit of more bulkiness without being like those crazy big snapbacks or anything like that. So it's a good product. Go ahead and look on it for yourself. The website's up. We appreciate y'all. We love y'all. If you want to support, go ahead, repost, do what you want.
Do what you will.
But we respect y'all. We appreciate
y'all. If you want to learn about the collection, click the blog.
Click the blog on the website, and you'll learn about the collection. Hey,
we'll learn about what the designs mean, what the concept of the collection is.
It's not long.
It's not.
But it's sweet. It's some good information. And yeah. With that being said,
just that shameful plug at the end of it.
Hey, we had to throw it. We stopped this podcast. We're like, oh, we forgot to talk about this, and we both showed up with the designs, unintentionally. We didn't even plan that out. But yes, we love y'all. We appreciate y'all. Until then,
we're doing a Mexican goodbye right now.
Link in the bio.
Link in the bio. Go bye.
Good night and sweet dreams. Honey tugs, little kisses. Bye.
Bye.